Welcome back to Dino Park Media. This is a second part of a two-part video featuring Jurassic Jen and Matt Heuel. If you missed the first part, go ahead and click on the info card taking you to the first part in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of this video. Which brings us to our next question. Do you think that Jurassic Park and World, that our fandom will continue to go strong for generations like Star Wars? Or do you think that it will begin to age out over time, kind of like Star Trek fandom? And so I might get some really bad comments, and some really bad angry comments because people are like, Star Trek isn't dead. But let's be objective here. Star Trek is nothing like it was back in the day. And so, do you think that Jurassic Park will be the aged, the older, the aged fandom in like 10 years, or do you think that it will continue to be evergreen like Star Wars?
Well, to be honest with you, like, let me ask you guys both this question. In 2015, or I think 2014, yeah, when the first trailer for Jurassic World came out, what did you guys think? Like, just initially, like, were you guys like, yes? Like, what was your feelings? I remember mine very, very well.
I was very excited. I was also upset I wasn't in it, but I was very excited.
Yeah, I feel that.
Don't worry, there's still time for that, Jen.
I know.
Yes, but my response to the original trailer was I felt excited. And I remember like screaming a little bit. Like I was definitely.
Oh yeah.
I was definitely like, okay, this seems like it's going to be good. Like, because like I told you earlier, I was scared that Jurassic World was going to be the like an amalgamation of two ideas that I thought of, like militarizing and hybridizing these dinosaurs with humans. Yeah. But instead they went with making a finished working park. And then when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, holy crap, this is what I want to see.
Yep.
And I asked that, I love your guys' answers. I asked that because all three of us were extremely excited, and we're all millennials, right?
Yeah.
So the millennial demographic moving forward, post-Dominion, will be there. Our nostalgia will be at an all-time high every time there's a Jurassic property, even like you said, Jen, Camp Cretaceous. Yeah. There'll still be that hype, but it's sprinkled with this new generation that grew up with, let's face it, like the Chris Pratt films, a lot of people call him, which is totally fine. You know, like after Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I feel like people really wanted to see Chris Pratt, and that just helped Jurassic World tremendously. But what I think actually it saved Jurassic Park, believe it or not, is my least favorite one. That's Fallen Kingdom, and it's because Chris Pratt was riding off a really big high in 2015, the mid 2010s. But Fallen Kingdom is still a top 15 film, domestic, like, of all time.
Right.
So because of that, I see, like, okay, there is, even with the mixed at best reviews that Fallen Kingdom has, even if it's a diminishing return, you're still going to get a top 15 film of all time. Of course, this is pre-pandemic or anything, but at the same time, the property is so alive.
Yes.
You can put, amazing effects out there. And again, to compare it to another franchise, let's just say, like, how the Fast and Furious franchise, another Universal property, as in like a Jason Statham and The Rock, right? I'm not saying that Jurassic Park will do that, but if they continue to stay relevant with their fans, or like a Mark Wahlberg in Transformers, I feel like people will continue to go see these films because you have these amazing effects that people will never get sick of, and dinosaurs are timeless, literally. Yeah. And you have Universal, which is a very smart brand. So I do think that it's a sprinkle of both, to be honest.
And we're still waiting on Dominion, which is probably going to blow records out of the water too, because we got our old cast back.
Yeah, I mean, also helped by the fact that, like, out of all the movies that have been produced during the pandemic, I'm 100% sure Dominion has definitely dominated the media cycle with saying, like, this is what we're doing. Because weren't they the first big budget film to get back to filming?
Yes.
Yep.
And they got shut down a few times from COVID too. Yeah. We're right back at it.
Yep. But like news outlets that aren't even specifically Jurassic have been following that. And like, I mean, so I think you're right. People are excited for this film. But before we go into our last question, I want to backtrack a little bit. During that intermediary time, because I hope that we don't have to relive this, but during that time between JP3 and Jurassic World, what was the fandom doing? And what were maybe you guys doing specifically during that time? Like, were you just kind of sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the movie? Or like, how did you spend your time, and how did you exercise your love for Jurassic Park?
I think I have like so many Jurassic Park clothes, so I was probably buying a bunch of clothes at the time. I was still living it.
Nice.
I was doing like maybe sketches and stuff about it. It never really left me, to be honest. I think the worst part was just kind of like not like, like now everything's more accessible. Like I could go get Jurassic Park stuff all the time. I could do dinosaur stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So back then it's kind of like you said, like it kind of just disappeared and the people kind of forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've ever did like, and like I said, I was keeping a really close track of like when the next one was going to come out. So I don't even feel like it was 14 years in between. I was just so obsessed with like what's going to happen next. I mean, I even moved to LA during that time, like towards the latter years I moved out here. So I was like, yeah, it was just, I don't feel like it ever disappeared from me at all.
Well, I mean,
I think to piggyback on what Jen said, for me, it was the toys. Like when I was 7, 8 years old, a lot of people dislike the Jurassic Park 3 toys, but I actually like them a lot. Like I still do, for sure. Like there's the merchandise for Jurassic Park is so underrated. And that's what kept me involved with the franchise, was even if I wasn't necessarily playing with it, they were still around my place. Like I never got rid of my Jurassic Park 3 or Lost World toys. They were still around.
Exactly.
So, yeah, they were still like in your heart, So for me, it was definitely the merchandise. And of course, going to the Universal all the time, going on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's a good one. And like the music was always with me. If I heard the music, it didn't matter if it was 14 years later, 5 years later, 2 years later. It doesn't matter if I was 8 or 10 or whatever. It was just that music just hits me all the time.
Like when
so
someone says Jurassic Park, like when someone says like the word Jurassic or the words Jurassic Park, like especially during 01 to 15, it was like, ooh, I want to talk about that, because nobody really talks about it. So it was really appealing as well.
That's a good point. I think I just spoke about it a lot. Like
right?
In those 14 years with everybody that I could possibly talk to about it.
Yep. No, I definitely hear that. But like, unlike you guys though, for me specifically, I hopped into the love of the Jurassic films when I was in middle school. So that would have been around 2008, 2009. And so I got into the game late, and so I was already kind of in that time where people were already kind of like getting to the point where they had forgotten about Jurassic Park. At least the greater culture kind of forgot about Jurassic Park at that point, and like, but I had just hopped into it, and I was just like, oh man. And then I think the thing that I was definitely looking to was trying to find any source of media, any source of Jurassic Park that I could. And that was the time that I really developed my desire and dream to go to Universal Studios Orlando, to go to what I imagined Jurassic Park, to be able to go there and ride the ride and go into the visitor center. And that childhood dream began when I first got back into Jurassic Park. And then also I found out that there was games like Operation Genesis, and then in 2011, I believe, Jurassic Park the game, which is considered to be soft canon, came out. And which actually brings me to like some other things in a message thread that I'm a part of with Jurassic Park. Some other people said that they also just like tried during that 14-year period between JP3 and Jurassic World. They tried just keeping it alive with playing as much of Jurassic Park video games.
Operation Genesis.
Operation Genesis. But then also going to the arcades and playing the arcade games. I mean, did you guys ever play those arcade games? They are sick.
They're so fun, yeah. And I'm glad they're back now too.
Yes, like there's the one that you can actually like get into. My wife and I when we go to there's like this local arcade slash laser tag place over here where I live. They have the Jurassic Park arcade game there, and so we
No
always
way.
go in.
The
Yeah,
Sega?
man. No, it's not the old one. It's not the classic one. There's a new one.
They're the one where you shoot the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, it's like it came out in like 2015 or 17, something like that.
Okay, yeah, I played that too. There's one in San Diego as well.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's really cool. Yeah.
It's just so much
I like
fun.
the '93 one though as well. That's what I thought of when you said it. I was like,
oh, I mean like
that
on
game was so much fun.
Like Sega Genesis.
I think it was just a Sega brand, but it was like what you and Jen are saying, like a first person shooter.
Oh, okay.
And like the dinosaurs would pop out. Got a lot like the 2013 game that you're talking about, or 14, 15.
Yeah.
But like with the old graphics, you know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, like these old arcade games are so much fun. I remember we had the JP3 one at the roller rink that I had when I was a kid. But a lot of people were playing the video games, and also they dove deeper into the books. But I mean, thankfully Jurassic World came out so that we have now this wide, vast new media and lore to draw from. But then I feel like we can go even deeper, and this leads me to my last question. What are some things that you would like to see from the fandom, from the Jurassic Park and World fandom, in regards to keeping the spirit of the movies, of the of that lore and world alive into the future?
Well, I think I see it already. Like part of why I love Jurassic Jen's Instagram so much is because I've learned so much like about the fandom, because like all these years I've kind of thought I was like alone. Like I'm the only one who loves Jurassic Park so much. So being around everyone that loves it so much is like amazing, and it feels like comforting. But I see it happening all the time. Like, I mean, I'm constantly doing like sketches. I mean, COVID happened, so it's like on like hiatus right now, but it's like like just keep I do reenacting, I do sketches. There's people who do like movie posters all the time. There's like constant threads of people talking about it. It's just kind of like joining in for the love of it and having like the commonalities with people who like appreciate it as much as you do. I think keeps it alive, and I think that's what's kept it alive all these years. Yeah,
I would agree with that. What about you, Matt?
Man, there's definitely two things. I mean, to keep it alive, just from Universal's point of view, I'd like to see them really focus on the characters and like the growth, like in the first two films, and make the humans sort of the big bads. But that's just from the Universal's point of view, like making it. Just from the fandom point of view,
yes,
I would really like to see. Well, it's really hard to say, but like kind of what you're doing on Down Park Media, that's so fantastic, because a lot of Star Wars fans have like so many YouTube channels that they can go to to keep the hype alive, even if it's, you know, post a bad episode that people don't like, people will still watch these YouTube channels. So I feel like the exposure that it gets on YouTube, like from you or Clayton or Jurassic Outpost, for example, the better, because of how many people are like, it's kind of like a TV show almost, like tuning into Down Park Media or tuning into Clayton and being like, that's a good topic, I want to like hear more about it. And it keeps it alive, like it keeps it exciting. And sometimes it's more exciting than the film. Like you're like, okay, this is some hype, I can't wait.
It is. Even there's like Facebook groups like that have like thousands and thousands of Jurassic Park fans, and they just keep posting like memes or like funny things. Like it's like private jokes almost, because like not everybody will get it unless you know like Jurassic Park. And I feel like that keeps it alive too, because it's kind of cool and hilarious, and it's just something. I'm on like 3 Jurassic Park groups on Facebook, so it keeps me.
Oh, you are? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that, and I mean, I'm hoping that we can get some more YouTube channels out there that would be able to that would want to do more Jurassic Park and World content, because honestly, Jurassic Outpost, and I know that there's a Jurassic Park podcast, and then they're on YouTube, and then we also have some other ones that do some like Dangerville will do some Jurassic Park videos, but then they're kind of like monster movies in general, and then other stuff like that, Swerve. But it would be cool just to have like a whole litany of people to choose from in order to be able to just go like, yeah, and then subscribe to all of them, because ultimately, and this was the coolest thing, on that thread that I was reading today, that I was talking about earlier, with them providing their ideas of what they did during that 14 years between JP3 and Jurassic World. Actually it was Jay Jurassic. So like, yeah, that guy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's so cool. But he actually he's in this thread, and he said, it would just be awesome to be able to get like some sort of podcast con together. So like all the different Jurassic Park podcasts could then come together and then be able to just like meet each other, and then also meet the fans that have been the other Jurassic Park fans that have been listening to their podcasts. And I'm thinking like, that would be awesome, but then why not just expand that all to like an overarching Jurassic Park fandom, like convention or something, where like Jurassic Park fans, Jurassic World fans are able to come together to be able to just hang out together.
Good idea.
It could be,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, seriously, it could be like a con, or I also, funny enough, this all happened in the past week, so I don't know like what kind of stuff just like popped up out of the middle of nowhere, but I also heard about that there's actually a Harry Potter, like at Universal Studios Orlando, there's a Harry Potter meetup where they have their own Facebook group, they have their own social media groups in order to like everybody to line up on the same weekend. And then it happens usually like the first week of February or last weekend of January, one of the two, every year. And actually it was started by Universal, but then Universal tried killing it because too many people came into the park those days. But then these Harry Potter fans just kept it alive, and they would all come together to hang out at Universal Studios Orlando and at the different Harry Potter worlds there in order to be able to celebrate their favorite franchise. And I'm thinking like, that'd be so cool to do something like that where Jurassic Park fans are able to come together and hang out together. And I know it's kind of hard to plan that during a pandemic, but to be able to do that like in the future, where everybody's just able to come together and just share together in their shared appreciation for this incredible franchise.
I think we need to get on that for sure. That's a great idea.
It'd be really cool to see like a Comic-Con just for Jurassic Park. Like,
oh my goodness, I would love that.
Right? Like a Dino Con kind of, Jurassic Con.
Oh my
But
word.
like, even if it's virtual, that'd be dope. I would love that. That'd be super, super cool.
Absolutely. Okay, well, so if anybody's watching this video right now and you are super like connected and or techie, and you're able to like make something like this, start planning it, please reach out to us, and we will be working with you to see how we can make this happen at some point in the future when people are able to breathe the same air again. So
Right.
This would be awesome to do together. I mean, like, we have just in this video created an incredible idea that needs to take fruition.
I agree.
Well, this is
Absolutely.
awesome. But guys, that's all the time we have for today. And I just want to say once again, thank you so very much to Jen Durst, to Matt Heuel for joining me on today's Dino Park Media video. And if you are in the fandom and you are thinking that you want to get more connected, you want to just continue to dive into your love of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, make sure to follow Site B, Isla Sorna on Instagram. Make sure to follow Jurassic Jen on Instagram, because they're incredible people that love this franchise. And then also, if you want, you can follow Dino Park Memes, but that's up to you. I'll leave that one for you. But
that's a good one. I love it. I love Dino Park Memes.
Dino Park Memes for the W.
Thank you guys. I love you guys. But everybody else is watching this video, please subscribe. We're on our way to 100 subscribers. We are making our way there, and then from there we'll be able to hopefully have a little bit wider of a reach. But guys, that's all we have for today. Have a great rest of your day, and know that you are loved. We'll see you in the next video.